And what's up, you guys? Welcome to the Mango Grove. My name is Krisha, and this is today's Bitcoin and Ethereum analysis video. It is a brand new week, so happy week to each and every one of you. I hope it's going to be a splendid one ahead. But more importantly, guys, we're also approaching a brand new month in about 2 days. So the next couple of days is actually going to be pretty damn exciting. But what's important about today is, well, we opened a brand new weekly candle. So on today's agenda, we're actually going to be talking about Bitcoin's weekly open, okay? Then we're going to move on to the monthly time frame, and then we're going to boil down onto those lower time frames to see if Bitcoin is giving us a tip-off of sorts of where price may want to go leading up to that monthly close. And then we're going to quickly pan over to Ethereum and go over a quick analysis on that. So now let's get into the meat of things. Let's get into the analysis because as things stand right now, Bitcoin's uptrend is still being maintained, right? This was the uptrend that we were looking at on that weekly time frame, the same uptrend, that same bullish structure that I have been telling you guys about that Bitcoin has been holding ever since that coronavirus dump. Okay, we've been maintaining this higher low structure, and we managed to do that again this time around. Now, this was actually a weekly range that Bitcoin was playing in. Allow me to just switch on my weekly horizontals. And that's that. And I'm going to get rid of my monthly very quickly. Beautiful. Now, getting back onto this weekly time frame, I do believe that Bitcoin was technically sandwiched within a range, and we still are in that same range. Okay, the range is between 11K, essentially that yellow line, the yellow horizontal that you see on my chart. And I want you to notice how the 10 SMA is also kind of coming in right on top of that. Okay, so it's the 10 SMA on top, and the bottommost point of the range is sitting here at around 10,198. And I want you to notice how the 21 EMA has come up to it. All right, so now it's sort of sandwiched between the 10 SMA and the 21 EMA. That is essentially what is really guiding the range for Bitcoin right now. And those are two very, very important weekly levels. Okay, Bitcoin is still very much in there. However, what's really key here is that we are in a bullish price structure. All right, now this is currently hitting up against that 11K resistance. And like I said, that 11K is going to be very, very pivotal depending on where Bitcoin closes relative to that 11K region on the monthly time frame as well as the weekly time frame this next coming week. That is going to determine the overall momentum for Bitcoin. Okay, if we close over, and more importantly, we close over that 10 SMA, I will be looking for another sort of move to the upside. The first point of resistance is going to come in at 11.6K, essentially this range right here, going all the way up to around 13.9K. Okay, so it is going to be an if this then that. But right now, what is important to note here is that this range that Bitcoin is in, right, this weekly range, I'm noticing it sort of reducing. Notice how the Tenkin as well as that 21 EMA is sort of guiding price action. We're living over those levels. The more it trudges up, the more that range narrows. Now, question is, can we break up from here? Right? Now, this is going to be very key whether or not Bitcoin actually manages to break up from here. If you just get onto the monthly time frame, this is what I'm looking at. So now here we have the monthly horizontals. Okay, now that yellow line that you see on my chart, guys, that was very important, that 11K region that Bitcoin is currently testing. I'm just going to zoom into that price action. That is important. Why? Because there's confluence. Not only was this a weekly level, okay, this is also a monthly level. It is very, very strong support. That's right, it is support. While on the weekly it's resistance, on the monthly, guys, it's actually support. And why is it support? Because on the month of July, we closed over 11K. Okay, the month of August, we got supported on 11K. And now this is the month of September, which we have not closed yet. And as things stand right now, we are sort of trying. I'm noticing that the bulls are trying to push this back up over 11K. If we manage to maintain 11K for the next 3 monthly candle closes, I'll be looking at that as bullish price structure there. Okay, and more importantly, I want you to notice what happened here, what happened to price relative to those cloud levels. Now, as soon as we took out the Kijun here on July 2020, okay, the month of July, this is a very classic play, really, because we take out a major cloud level, we usually come down for a retest, and then we see continuation. Apologies for that really messy line. I don't know why it does that, but I want you to notice in terms of the break, retest, continuation, we're essentially seeing something like that right here, price relative to that Kijun. We broke here, This candle here on August of 2020, we never really came down for a retest. Yes, we tested a monthly level, but this candle right here, this month of September, we actually came all the way down to 9,979, testing that Kijun, an official test. And if we manage to get back up over 11K, I will be expecting continuation to the upside. Okay, at which point, if we close over 11K, the next point of resistance is only going to be coming in at around 13.8 to 14K. Okay, that is going to be my next target if Bitcoin closes the monthly over 11K. However, guys, if we close under 11K, okay, I will be looking for another test of the Kijun, which is sitting at around 9.9K, going all the way down to this monthly support here at 9.6K. However, please note that if price manages to make its way down to 9.6K, say for whatever reason we close underneath 11K, and price actually comes down to 9.6K, I want you to note that Bitcoin would have officially lost its weekly uptrend. Okay, because remember, if you just pan on over to the weekly, okay, my levels are still intact. Gonna zoom in here, and this is the 9.6K region. Price making its way down here would mean that we lose these wick lows, effectively losing the overall uptrend that Bitcoin has been in. And if the bulls have to be in control of Bitcoin, that is going to be a bad look. If this happens, I'll be expecting further continuation to the downside, possibly coming in testing the bottom of the cloud here at 8.5K. Okay, now this is what's going on Bitcoin's weekly and monthly time frame. As things stand right now, the bulls are still in control. If the bulls take out 11K in 2 days, they are going to be in control still. Okay, but now let's go on to our lower time frames to see if maybe, is Bitcoin really giving us a tip off there? So I'm going to get on to let's actually get onto the daily time frame. I do believe there are a couple of things going on here on the daily time frame, as well as that 4-hour time frame, that may give us a good sort of tip off. So a couple of days ago, I was kind of looking at how the daily candles have been closing relative to, well, the EMAs, right? Particularly that 21 EMA and that 10 SMA. And for the days of from the 24th of September all the way to 26th, I was noticing that, price was kind of being held down by the 10 SMA. Like, it was pretty steadfast in its hold there. However, on the candle, on the 26th September daily candle, I want you to notice, if I just zoom into that price action there, we just about took out the 10 as well as that 21 EMA, right? It was so subtle, but it was there. And what do you know? The next day, 27th, this was a very, very volatile candle. We made our way down only to get a push back up, closing over both those levels, the 10 and the 21. Okay, now today we're seeing that continuation. What I will be expecting in terms of the EMA crossovers, I'll be looking for the 10 SMA to come back over the 21 EMA, giving us that bullish crossover setup. By the way, speaking of EMAs and MAs, for those of you who do not have access to the Mango ribbon yet, which is basically a combination of 4 to 5 EMAs and MAs along with the Ichimoku Cloud with our settings, you can just request for access to this indicator and we'll give it to you for free. Okay, you can request access using the link in the description below. It's called a Mango ribbon. This is going to be particularly helpful for those of you who have beginner TradingView accounts and you can only have like a limited number of indicators on your chart. But getting back onto the chart, as things stand right now, I do believe that Bitcoin is looking good. We are currently over those daily resistances that we were being held down by. At this point, I will be looking for continuation all the way to this region right here at 11,090. And why do I say 11,090? It's because if you just zoom out of this chart, I'm noticing a pattern here, okay, of sorts. It is more like a double bottom W-like formation, right? This is essentially what I'm looking at. And if you put on your volume nodes, you'll see that it's got the correct volume profile to it. And this 11,080 region here, guys, is the neckline, okay? If price manages to get right up there and we have that nice, beautiful break to the upside, guys, I'm looking for a volume confirmation on that, okay? I want to see good volume confirmation on the break. If price manages to do that, we have that volume confirmation. I do believe that the measured move will take Bitcoin all the way up to, drumroll please, 12,248. Allow me to just mark that with another line segment. And that's that right here. Okay, but more importantly, what's going to be extremely key about this is that this 11,080 region, while it is the neckline of this W-like formation, it is also the breakdown point on the daily time frame. Yes, we had a breakdown point right around here. Okay, now this essentially marked the breakdown point of this beautiful head and shoulders top pattern. All right, this was the breakdown point of the head and shoulders top pattern, and this comes around at 11,080 as well. All right, so not only is this the breakdown point, guys, this is also the neckline of the W-like formation, and breaking this to the upside will have bullish implications. So if there's any region that you guys need to watch out for leading up to that next monthly close, it's going to be this region right here, essentially how price reacts off of this 11,080 region. If we close over and if we find support on there, I think that this is clear for that monthly close. Essentially, we close over 11K. Plus, in addition to that, we're likely to see continuation to the upside. However, if we meet with resistance on this region, there's a good chance that we may just close the monthly underneath 11K. At which point I'll be looking for Bitcoin to either range on that weekly time frame or see continuation to the downside. Okay, now this is all I have for you for Bitcoin. Remember, your key level for the next couple of days is going to be how price reacts off of that 11,080 region. Now let's get on to Ethereum and see what Ethereum is up to. We will only be covering the ETH-USD pair. I'm currently using that Kraken exchange to chart because I do believe it is rich in price history, but I'm also going to go ahead and change my template here. I do believe that Ethereum works better on simple moving averages than exponential. So I have my 20 and the 50, but for now, we're just going to get rid of that 50 SMA there. Cool. So the way I'm looking at this right now, I do believe that Ethereum 2 is within a range. Okay, I do believe there are two things. Ethereum is still maintaining its weekly uptrend. I was essentially looking for it to maintain this wick low right here, which was coming in at 311. When Ethereum had its dump with Bitcoin, it only made its way down to 313, thus maintaining the 311 low. Okay, we did get a good bullish pickup on that. However, I was hoping that we closed over 361, which we failed to do. Now, I do believe that Ethereum is still within a very, very tight range. The range being, okay, from that 10 simple moving average. And as you can see, price was holding it as support. We recently, only in this last weekly close, did we lose the 10 simple moving average. So I do believe that is the uppermost threshold of the range, okay? That is the resistance at $382, going all the way down to the Tenkin, which is sitting at around 340, give or take. Okay, that is going to be the new range that is going to be established for Ethereum. However, what I want to see, all right, is Ethereum still manage to maintain its higher low structure. So at this point, I do not want price taking out, well, this wick low right here, once again, at that $311. Okay, taking out this to the downside is going to mean Ethereum taking out the 20 simple moving average as well as this 310 region. Now, for those of you who watched some of my past analysis videos on Ethereum, you guys know the importance of 310. Right? However, for those of you who are new here and you're watching this Ethereum analysis for the first time, let me tell you why this is such an important level. If you just zoom out, okay, of your ETH-USD chart on that weekly time frame, and I'm just going to go ahead and switch off my cloud here, I want you to notice price action relative to that 310 region, which is that beautiful pink line on my chart. Okay? Ethereum was essentially trending and consolidating underneath that region for almost 2 years. That's right, 2 years. It was only very recently, back in July, that we actually managed to take out that level to the upside. So we closed over 310 for the first time after 2 years. Okay, and as things stand right now, we are using it as support. All right, so I want Ethereum to live over this region if we have to see that continuation to the upside. But now let's get onto those lower time frames, because I'm going to tell you exactly what I personally am going to be looking at if we do have to see continuation to the upside from here. Okay, if you just get onto that 4-hour time frame, I'm noticing a couple of things here. The first thing is, the more important thing actually, is that Ethereum is maintaining that 4-hour uptrend. Okay, you can see this diagonal line right here. That is the 4-hour uptrend that Ethereum is maintaining. Allow me to just clear my chart. It's getting a bit messy there. Okay, so currently we are in a 4-hour uptrend. Okay, and in addition to that, guys, we have a bullish crossover setup. We have the 10 SMA, which is over the 20 SMA, which is over the 50 SMA. If Ethereum manages to maintain that 4-hour uptrend, I will be looking for something like this, for it to oscillate and put in an ascending triangle of sorts. Okay, if we manage to do that, if that uptrend is intact, I think this ascending triangle could form and we could see that break. Now, what I personally am going to be looking for, okay, on the break. Now, this is where I kind of go up to those higher time frames. I always want to see that additional added confirmation, right? I'm noticing that this 361 region is very, very key on the 12-hour time frame. It plays out very well on the 12-hour time frame. It's a great reference point. I noticed that every time we've closed over 361 on that 12-hour time frame, we have more often than not seen a push to the upside. So as soon as price starts taking out 361 on the 12-hour time frame, okay, we see candle body closes over that, I will be looking for continuation all the way to 387. Okay, at which point I do believe that Ethereum will be testing the neckline of a W-like formation on the 12-hour time frame. If we break this, I do believe that the measured move will take Ethereum all the way up to around that 470, 480 region. Okay, now of course it's going to be an if this then that, but I do believe that Ethereum is looking good on the weekly as well as that monthly time frame. For as long as Ethereum lives over $310, I do believe that the bulls are in full control. Okay, now this is all I have for you for Ethereum as well as Bitcoin. With this, trade safely, trade stress-free, trade the mango way, trade the easy way, guys. Ciao.